Well, we're driving in the car because we did a really quick hunt down in Pennsylvania public land. Can't wait to bring that story to you. We had some success, and we looked at it like, if we have some success on opening day, we're going home the next day. We miss kids. Dylan's been on the road like crazy. It's, early December, so November is where it's at for being on the road and hunting. And we really wanted to talk about Jen's Wisconsin opening day of gun season hunt. And we've brought that to you, and it's been pretty cool. But Jen, in your own words,
it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome to finally get my hands on that buck. We had videos and pictures of him for a while, but he was more sporadic. One of those we're like, if we see him during gun season, we're definitely gonna get him, or hopefully get him. But the day kind of started out at, what time did we leave the house? At
4 something.
4:45. Yeah. It's a 50-minute drive to Wisconsin, and then we were hunting and bedding and over water holes in the morning, and then I transitioned to a food plot in the afternoon.
You had the good spot in the afternoon.
I would say I did. Yeah, I definitely
Especially
did.
with no rut going on, that's what they're doing, they're going to food.
Exactly, and so this buck, it's a rather open area of food plot. I would say the farthest shot in front of you is maybe 175-ish, maybe. And then on our upper food plot, it's you can shoot a lot farther, 230, 240 yeah. Maybe. And so when I was sitting there, I was texting Jeff like, okay, so if this buck comes in at 200, where do I shoot? And so Jeff funnily, is that even a word?
Sure, it is now.
Yeah, funnily.
Yeah.
Sent a picture of this buck with a red dot on the picture of exactly where I should aim at 200 yards. And I was like,
200 plus.
Right. So I'm like, thanks for using the buck that I'm after. And I
have to mention too, we don't want these deer to move after you shoot them. We hunt in bluff country, really steep. We don't want it going down into a ditch where we have to drag it out. We don't want it going uphill into the neighbors. We want it, or around the corner into a hollow on the neighbors.
Right.
We've shot a lot of bucks on that property. We've only had 2 go to the neighbors. Out of a couple dozen bucks. And so, and does, we expect them to go right there.
Right. And especially too, when you're making a shot at that distance, you want to make sure that you are making a good ethical shot also. You don't want this deer to suffer and run a long way either. So anyways, fast forward to about 4 o'clock. I was glassing and counting the amount of deer that I could see, and I think I was on 6 different bucks and I think 15 different does and fawns, and I glassed up in our upper food plot, and I'm like, you weren't there before. And I'm like, man, I think that's him. But I ranged him, and he was at 224 yards, I think. So of course I'm like, in a way, like somewhat panicking, because I'm like, okay, we talked about 200 yards, not 224. So I tried to call Jeff, and of course he doesn't answer. And so I'm like, okay. So I made the executive decision to continue with my hunt without Jeff, and shot and dropped him right there. And so it was super cool. And of course, Jeff called right away, and I told him that I thought I got him, that I saw him fall down right away. And then of course I had to wait for, was it close to 45 minutes to an hour, I think. So it was the longest 45 minutes to an hour of my life. But all those does left the food plot for maybe a minute or 2, and then they came right back, and then they left again. So I was able to,
used to be unpressured.
Yeah, and then I was just able to sneak out of there. So then I, waited at the truck until you came. Well, actually, I drove up to and met you about halfway.
Yeah.
So
it's the one time we drive on the property after dark.
Yeah.
All the deer are usually gone anyway. So.
But it was
no harm, no foul.
It was so awesome walking up on him, and you're like, yeah, that's him. Like, we got him.
He's really, really cool buck too.
Really
so much
unique.
Character.
Yeah, I think he had 13 points.
Yeah.
And
lots of character. So.
Yeah, just a beautiful buck.
Pretty cool. Now we have muzzleloader to hunt, and what do we do now? All our target bucks are shot.
I don't know.
We're waiting for one to come in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's but anyways.
Start the countdown for next year.
Great job, Jen.
Thanks.
Awesome. It was cool to get up close to him and look at him. I know you loved getting your hands around his antlers, so.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. Well, Jen and I are on our way, 2024, Wisconsin Rifle, going to join the Orange Army, but You know, people say that like a negative, but Wisconsin tradition and Midwest tradition, I grew up in Michigan, opening day is awesome.
Awesome.
What's it awesome for?
I know, it should be a good time.
You will like snacks.
I only brought up 2 snacks. Brought a sandwich, a Cliff Bar.
Yeah, that's about all I have, except I have an extra sandwich.
You have 2 sandwiches.
Yeah, I have 2 sandwiches for all day. I'm sitting all day though.
Well, so am I. I'm just going to break.
Yeah. We have a really good strategy this morning. We're sitting up by bedding areas, both on water holes too. It's been dry recently, and it's at the end of the rut. So we're not really rut hunting. We're off to the edge of the bedding area, hoping to catch a deer coming from the neighbors, or maybe a little flurry of rutting activity. But I'm going to stay all day with the bow. Jen?
I'm going to sit till probably about 12, between 12 and 1:30, depending on how much deer activity there is over there.
Let's face it, depending on when you have to go to the bathroom.
I might have to pee.
Yeah. Then you get down.
Then I get down. And so when I get down, I walk through a bunch of open hardwoods. So there's typically no deer in there at all. Last year when I got out, I walked through there, and it's incredibly open. Not a place for deer to bed. And I was able to walk out of there, and I didn't see anything. I don't even think I saw a squirrel.
It's basically the opposite direction for the way you go in.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
you're going in one way. It's like a giant loop if you end up doing that.
Right, and then in the evening, I'm hunting a food source. So just hunting in a redneck and able to get down and go to the bathroom and move all my stuff to that blind and hunt some food. That's where the deer are going anyways. So if Jeff hasn't killed anything at that point, it's just going to be hanging out with me.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm hoping it would be fun to sit with you, but that means I shot something you didn't. So I'd really like you to shoot something. We'll see what happens, but it's a good spot. We're really fortunate with the winds today, so we wouldn't be hunting the spot obviously if the winds weren't good, but perfect for where we're hunting, and opportunities hit by the bedding areas, and one of our favorite spots. We're both looking for a mature buck. We have a few in mind, so here we go. Well, it's the middle of the day here, and it's been a really good set. I've had at least 2 3-year-olds come in. One I was really wondering, he's a real nice 8-point with good mass down his bases, but he's got to be a 3.5-year-old. So that's a no shoot buck no matter what. Like I said, I've said before, over here in Wisconsin we lower our standards a little bit, but we still want a 4.5-year-old buck compared to Minnesota anyways. We have good properties around here. They just don't have the level of management we do in Minnesota around us with the neighbors and dedication to not spooking deer, that kind of thing. So it's just a different type of hunt. And I've seen 3 little ones and that 2-year-old too. And what's cool is I had one bedded in front of me. I couldn't tell what it was. Just saw antlers, a rack. Ended up being a 2-year-old 8. And then I had 2 down to my left. One was a 3.5-year-old 10. And then that first 8-point that I saw was bedded down there. And then 2 other little bucks are bedded down there. So this morning I've seen 6 bucks, 1 doe, and 1 button buck. So button buck was literally sniffed the rails down below in the ladder of the family tradition stand. So boy, that one was so tempting. That 3.5-year-old 8-point, he's a nice looking buck, man. I hope he makes it till next year. He'd be awesome. And Jen saw some of the same bucks, some different ones, some does too. I think she's seen 14, 15 deer. So been a really good set. Been enjoying it so far, and been comfortable up here too. Jen made me a couple really nice sandwiches, so kind of nice to have those. She's out bathroom break and going back to a redneck to watch the food tonight. I'm excited for her. She's gonna see a pile tonight, and should be a great hunt for her. So enjoying the sit. I got an insulated vest on, got a midway jacket, the core, first light core, and then thermic bib. So I'm pretty warm, toasty, and kind of settled in for 4 or 5 hours this afternoon, and we'll see what happens. Now I wanted to reinforce the strategy for our hunt. It was really cool because I wanted to shoot something with my bow, and throughout this entire hunt I basically saw next year's bucks, and it was pretty awesome. Big 8, a heavy 8, 10-point, and those are ones I'd love to shoot next year, and they're both 10 point was 10 yards, 8 point was 5 feet. They were both, I was itching to pull the trigger on that bow, but I didn't need to, didn't want to, wanted to save them. But Jen was overseeing a bunch of great bucks, those same ones, and a lot of does too. But I really wanted her to watch that afternoon food source hunt with a gun. And so she snuck out of her stand. She went down through open timber, completely opposite of the way she went in the morning, got around the bedded deer, circled all the way down and around, and then was able to leave her stuff at the redneck down below where she can watch this whole field and get in and out without spooking deer. And I don't know, like, you guys might not realize this, but all this stuff right here that we wear, and we can just kind of go to the bathroom off the stand. It's pretty easy. For women, it's a lot harder. And so she feels a lot more comfortable during the middle of the day, going into the local gas station and coming back out, and that's what she did. And she was all settled in for an afternoon hunt without spooking anything, walking all the way around the bedded deer. It was a lot closer to go the other way, a lot less steep, and she followed the strategy to a T. I was up top, and I had good action all the way till dark. Just didn't see the buck I wanted, but when I heard that shot, I was super excited and hoping that Jen pulled the trigger on the buck that she was after, her number one target buck. And in fact, before that even happened, I had a little sketch that I drew of where she should aim, because it could be a 200 up to 235 yard shot. And we really wanted to go over and stress that, both of us together. Yeah, this is the best spot. And check out what happened.
All right, so we're in Wisconsin and in the redneck. And I think I just shot one of our target bucks here in Wisconsin. Pretty funny. In fact, I was just counting how many deer I could see, and I think I was at like 15 does and 4 different bucks. And on our upper food plot, I noticed a different buck that I hadn't seen before, and I glassed him. I'm like, man, I think that's him. And I wasn't 100% sure if it was the right buck. And so I tried to call Jeff, who's hunting on top, like, to say, hey, I'm not sure if this is him, and he's at 224 yards. I don't have a lot of time. And I glassed him again, and when I glassed him again, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's you. And so I put my gun up, and I believe I made a good shot. He fell down, and I saw him fall down. There's a couple other deer that were over there with him that they didn't run off. They just seemed a little confused. And so I'm a little excited. It's kind of one of those things where it's a little bit surreal when all of this is happening, because it all happens so fast. Yeah, you watch all this stuff, but I don't even know what we're gonna do right now. All the does came back in, and they're all eating on the food plot. There's a really tall, pretty 8-pointer, and he was over there with that bigger buck, and he just went off just above him on the hill and just stood there. It seemed like he was really confused, like, hey, what just happened to my buddy? But I think in a way, he probably looked at it as like, okay, this is now my kingdom. So pretty cool. Super excited. I want to get out of here and go look at him, but not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait till dark, and we'll get out of here and wait for Jeff to come back. And in fact, like, Jeff has to walk right by where I shot this buck, so for him to not go over there and look at this buck. But super excited. Cool stuff. I haven't shot deer in Wisconsin. It's been a minute. Wow. Now that I think about it, part of me wants to go back and look, but it's been a while. So this is pretty cool. Really cool. Happy opening day.
Well, Jen shot one, and I I want to get down so bad. I'd sit here until I think she shot about 45 minutes ago, somewhere around there. And she hasn't even seen it. She went down to the truck. She was able to sneak away. So I'm going to meet her down at the truck, and then we're going to go in there. She thinks it fell right there. It's the big one that we were after. It's got a white front left foot. And it's got a kicker off the left G2. I think he had a split brow. It's a really pretty buck. So I can't wait to get down. The only problem is it's going to take me about 20 minutes just to get down to the truck where she's at, where she's going to drive in the woods. So I'm way up top here. I'm getting down now. I can't wait to go see her and give her a hug, and then hopefully big buck down. What'd you do? I can't wait to go look for her. Congratulations, baby.
So it was, I ranged his 224 yards before I shot him, and I put it right on the top of his shoulder. It was a far shot, probably my second farthest shot I've ever made on a whitetail, but it was pretty cool. I saw him fall down, so we're just going to try to find him now. So let's go.
You're excited, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, you keep looking, okay? Yeah, I see him. Go up to him. That is him. That's him, man.
Cool buck. Cool buck. Look at this. Look at this, and he's got split brows. And
That's him. He's right where you thought he was.
yeah, exactly.
What do you think, babe?
I don't know. This is awesome. This is exactly the buck we thought he was. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, again, look how cool he is. Just look at him down here. Like, he's got so much character.
It's that time of year. What do I mean? Christmas time. I just want to remind you of all the stuff that we have that you can buy to help your loved ones, yourself, achieve their whitetail dreams. We have all the books I've written, our web classes, our seed products, and if you're a really big spender, hire one of us to come out and design your parcel. We've actually had a few Christmas and birthday presents like that. Bottom line is there's a lot of tools to help you out. And if you don't want to spend anything at Christmas, we do a lot of free content for you. But check our Christmas stuff out, whitetailhabitatsolutions.com, Pure Wildlife Blend Seed Company. Thanks for watching, guys, but most importantly, Merry Christmas.